from the Jersey Devil and the Queensland Tiger, to organisms that are neither plant nor animal. Here are 14 mysterious creatures that are still unidentified. Apeman of the Amazon. Human is a term that describes a creature that's a hybrid of chimpanzees and humans. Such a creature was allegedly created in Russia during the 1920s, but it didn't survive. Also called humanzees, there have been several reports of such hybrid animals over the decades, including a few in the 21st century. In 1937, a purported ape man was discovered living in the remote Brazilian Amazon. The male species was described as having a simian posture and misshapen features, including an ape-like snout. Plenty of people were convinced that the ape man represented the missing link between apes and humans. Others claimed it was all merely a hoax. Did you know there are certain species of primates that have physical features that are very human-like? One of the better-known examples is the Lesula monkey from Central Africa. They display facial features that many find unsettlingly similar to our own. O the Wisps. These odd creatures gained some notoriety when they were featured in the animated movie Brave, but eerie, ghostly lights are often the subject of European folklore. The spooky illuminations are usually seen at night, especially near marshes or swamps. Because of their flickering nature, O the Wisps can appear like lamps or lanterns and confuse travelers. Some sources think the lights intentionally mislead people and might have a malevolent nature. By some accounts, a small goblin-like creature uses the light to attract journeyers at night, but once they've been led away from their familiar path, the light is extinguished and the victim is stranded in the dark. Everything from fireflies to methane gas emissions have been offered as an explanation for the phenomenon. To date, none of those theories have been confirmed. Ropin. The creature's name means demon flyer and was described as a glowing, nocturnal, bat-like beast that flies in the Southwest Pacific. Initially described in the 1930s, so-called flying sea monsters have been reported since the 16th century. The Ropin allegedly lives in Papua New Guinea and is often the subject of local folklore. But plenty of people think this animal is real. It's most often compared to a pterosaur that has a featherless body and a 20-foot or 6-meter wingspan. But some accounts claim the wingspan can exceed 50 feet or 15 meters. It's said to prey on fish, but Ropin are also known to dig up human graves to feast on cadavers. Along with the possibility of it being an unknown species of flying reptile, many witnesses claim the animal might be a misidentified megabat or large fruit bat. The Canvey Island Monster. In 1953, a bizarre-looking creature washed up on the shores of Canvey Island, England. A second carcass, more intact, was discovered a year later. The first specimen was described as over 2 feet long, or 61 centimeters, with reddish-brown skin and bulging gills and eyes. It was also claimed to have hind legs, with feet the shape of horseshoes with 5 toes. That carcass was later cremated. The second specimen was similar to the first, but it was nearly 4 feet long, or 122 centimeters, and weighed about 25 pounds, or 11 kilograms. Its eyes, nostrils, and teeth were preserved well enough to be studied, but no official determination was rendered, and the carcass disappeared. Yakub Mama. In addition to other lagoons, this South American creature is said to guard the mouth of the Amazon basin. There's a legend that it is the source of all aquatic creatures and will attack anything that invades its territory. Folklore describes it as a beast that measures more than 100 feet long, or 30 meters. In addition to this fearsome appearance, there's a local belief that the monster can morph into a gigantic anaconda. In that form, it was known as the Minocao centuries ago. Spanish conquistadors believed the animal existed, and sightings have continued to the present day. Bigfoot. Sightings of large, hairy, ape-like creatures have been reported in the Pacific Northwest. Native American tribes called them Sasquatch. The popular name Bigfoot didn't enter the pop culture until the late 1950s, and it's really just another term for Sasquatch. What are these huge bipedal beasts? A common theory speculates that they might be a lost population of Gigantopithecus. They were prehistoric apes that stood 10 feet tall, or 3 meters, and weighed more than 1,300 pounds, or 600 kilograms. That explanation is also proposed for similar ape-like creatures that appear in other parts of the world. That includes the Yeti, or the abominable snowman in the Himalayas, and the Yowie in Australia. The Padfoot. These creatures are most often described as ghostly black dogs that appear in the British Isles. But variations of these beasts also appear in various folk tales from around the world. They were even referenced in Harry Potter. Black dogs are nocturnal entities that appear as apparitions and are often linked to hellhounds. They usually have glowing eyes and can generally appear larger than a normal canine. By some accounts, the creature can turn invisible. It can also alter its form to appear like a huge black donkey. The harrowing sound of rattling chains is said to be audible in whatever form it assumes. All variations of the creature have this in common. Seeing it means a portent of death for the witness. The malevolent black dogs served as the inspiration for the Sherlock Holmes adventure, The Hound of the Baskervilles. The Loch Ness Monster. This is a name we can't just leave off our list. Modern sightings of Nessie could date back to the 19th century, when an unidentified creature was described as wriggling in the waters of Loch Ness, Scotland. But the earliest report of a lake monster in the loch dates to 565 CE, when an Irish monk allegedly encountered it. Sightings have persisted into the 21st century, but there's still no consensus as to what Nessie might be. Theories ranging from it being a plesiosaur to a large eel have been proposed, but Nessie has yet to be identified. Any thoughts about what the Loch Ness Monster might be? Delo Ape. In 1920, an expedition led by Swiss oil prospector Francis Deloise was camped by the Tara River in Colombia. They were approached by two huge creatures resembling spider monkeys. One was male, the other one was female, and both stood about 5 feet tall, or 1.5 meters. They howled and made threatening gestures. The female was shot and killed, whereupon the male fled. The female specimen had no tail and possessed 32 teeth instead of 36, which is common for monkeys of the Americas. Deloise took a picture of the animal set up on a crate with its head propped up by a stick. When the picture was published in 1929, a lot of controversy over its authenticity followed, but many still believe the creature represents an unknown species or possibly a missing link. The Jersey Devil. This creature is said to have haunted the Pine Barrens of New Jersey for going on 300 years, and it's described as a real animal mashup. This bipedal beast resembles a kangaroo with leathery wings, hooves, and a fork-shaped tail with a horned, goat-like noggin. Witnesses claim it moves rapidly and often emits a blood-curdling, high-pitched scream. Stories about it circulated in the 1700s, and it's enmeshed in regional folklore, but many encounters with the Jersey Devil have been reported over the centuries. Depending on the account, these monsters have killed livestock and humans. At one point, the Philadelphia Zoo allegedly offered a $10,000 reward for its capture. While the Jersey Devil remains shrouded in mystery, it often shows up in popular culture. The New Jersey Devils ice hockey team is even named for it. Reptilian Chupacabras. You probably know that Chupacabra translates into goat sucker. Initial sightings of this creature actually began in Puerto Rico in March of 1995, when 8 sheep were found completely exsanguinated. The mutilations were initially thought to have been caused by a fox or some other predator. A witness later claimed the monster was a fanged bipedal beast with bulging black eyes and a reptilian appearance. Dozens more people also claimed to see Chupacabras, and during the year, more than 1,000 animal deaths were attributed to it. It stands up to 5 feet, or 1.5 meters, and has extended wing-like spinal quills, gray skin, and red, glowing eyes. Canine Chupacabras. While the monsters typically look like bipedal reptilian creatures with green leathery skin, there's another popular description for them. Starting in the early to mid-2000s, areas of the southwestern United States and other areas of the world reported 4-legged chupacabras that had a canine appearance. In this version, the creatures more resembled hairless coyote-like animals. While many of them have been explained as wild canids displaying mange, many people still regard them as otherworldly creatures. Not unlike the reptilian variety, the canid version of the chupacabra has origins that are still under debate. The Yari. That's the critter's native name, but it might be more popularly known as the Queensland Tiger. Most descriptions agree that it's about the size of a dog, with large front teeth, a long tail, and stripes. The earliest verified sightings of this animal date to the late 19th century, but the traditions of indigenous people mention the Yari well before that. Speculation about this beast includes it might be a large feral cat, or even a surviving specimen of Thylacoleo. That predatory beast is nicknamed the marsupial lion, and was the largest carnivorous mammal found in Oz. They weighed more than 300 pounds, or 136 kilograms, but went extinct around 46,000 years ago. Rangiomorphs. Fossils of creatures known as Edea Karans have been dated some 580 million years old. Recently, a group of them identified as rangiomorphs have been analyzed by scientists. They say Edea Karans were multicellular, soft-bodied organisms with primitive skeletons that were probably immobile. Since they could grow bigger than an adult human, they were one of the planet's first truly large multicellular creatures. Existing before the dawn of true animals, these mysterious specimens vanished about 540 million years ago. Little more is known about rangiomorphs. At this point, it's uncertain whether they were animals, plants, or none of the above. Thanks for watching this episode. Did you like the video? Tell us what you think in the comments below, and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.